This is Italradio. The following 15 minutes are in English. Good evening. The program you are now listening to was produced by Italradio in the studios of Radio Toscana in Florence, celebrating the World Radio Day today, 13th February 2024. At the microphone, Luigi Cobisa. This program is broadcast once, now only, from 8 to 9 p.m. Central European Time, 7 to 8 p.m. UTC, on 6,035 kHz shortwave on the 49-meter band, through the log periodic antenna at Santa Maria di Galeria Broadcasting Center, run by Vatican Radio a few kilometers north of Rome. The transmission power is 100 kilowatts. For many years, shortwave have been drastically reduced in Europe. Many broadcasts in Italian have disappeared. There is, however, a great need for this simple and proven technology, which ensures that information programs are transmitted across borders and that an unlimited number of listeners can receive them anonymously and for free. It's important that our experience will be supported by your opinion. Write to us how you have heard us just by sending reception reports and messages to web2012@italradio.org. I repeat it, web, W-E-B, 2012 at italradio, I-T-A-L-R-A-D-I-O, italradio.org. We will reply with an appropriate confirmation. The address will be repeated several times during the program, which is divided into 4 spaces of about 15 minutes each. The first and the last are in Italian. The second was in French. And the third you are now listening to is in English. Let us now remember, listeners in the Italian language, about their section to be broadcast in about 15 minutes from now. The theme of World Radio Day 2024 is 100 years of entertainment, information, and education. It was dictated by UNESCO, which adopted a proclamation in 2012 at the suggestion of Accademia Spagnola della Radio. In Italy, this year, 2024, we do celebrate the centenary of our public radio, whose regular broadcast began in Rome on 6 October 1924. It's a bittersweet anniversary since changes in broadcasting led to limiters in diffusion on the 2 FM and DAB. After all, medium wave were closed down in 2022 as they were shortwave in 2007. Private initiatives are trying to preserve medium wave broadcasting in this country, but it's not easy. Anyway, we are detecting a demand of shortwave all over Europe. It led us to make this program possible. But let us go back to the theme of the day, the centennial of radio broadcasting. And since we are recording this program in Florence, as the Marconi presence in Tuscany, that we try to return with you now. Marconi's presence in this region is documented from the younger years of the inventor, particularly in Florence and in Livorno. There is one day that represents a real triumph for Guglielmo Marconi in this part of Italy. It was May 23rd in 1903, when the inventor came to Pisa to establish a radio telegraph station of Curtano. People acclaimed him, and he received the recognition of scientist Antonio Pacinotti, the inventor of dynamo. Filippo Giannetti takes us, with his voice, back to the historic day. The time machine is now going to leave.
Hello, our dear Italradio listeners. Wherever you are, in space and time, may our warmest greetings reach you. Filippo Giannetti speaks to you from Pisa railway station. It's 9:40 p.m. of the 23rd of May 1903, and the whole city is buzzing about the imminent arrival of Guglielmo Marconi. The science of the great inventor, like a bright ray of sunshine, is about to illuminate this beautiful, fortunate, and jubilant Tuscan city. News spread throughout the city since the morning. Guglielmo Marconi, the young scientist, the Italian guy the whole world is talking about, is coming to Pisa. And since the afternoon, a crowd started gathering at the railway station. So, around 8 p.m., the station square was almost filled with people waiting anxiously. Men and women of all social conditions wanted to be present, to see closely and to hail the great inventor, the universal genius. It's now 9:41 p.m. This is the train coming from Rome, entering under the large metal arch that covers the station platforms. A long and loud applause breaks out from all those present. The train slows with a deafening screech of brakes, then finally snorts and halts. Just a few seconds, and the hatches open. Among large clouds of steam, Marconi descends first. His silhouette is very recognizable, even from a distance and amidst the puffs of steam. He's 29, has a very pleasant appearance and nice bearing. We can see that he's wearing an elegant iron gray suit and a Panama hat on his head. Right behind him, we notice his elderly parent, Giuseppe, in his 80s, who actually appears rather tired from the long journey, and Lieutenant Solari, his trusted collaborator and assistant, who is watching a clock in his right hand while holding a briefcase in the left. We see now that Marconi is welcomed by an honorary committee made up of the city authorities, led by the mayor of Pisa, Commendatore Gambini, who delivers a solemn welcome message. Now Marconi is exiting the station, acclaimed by two wings of the crowd, and just aside, he receives another interminable applause from the people hurrying into the square. The illustrious guest and his companions are now boarding two open carriages. They leave and take Via Vittorio Emanuele. A group of enthusiastic youngsters rushes after the carriages, and the whole crowd tags along. Thus, we also join this procession in order to provide you with a detailed live reportage of this extraordinary event. Throughout the journey across the city, the scientist is repeatedly acclaimed with the shouts of Viva Marconi by a huge and jubilant crowd that huddles on the sidewalks, while lads are waving handkerchiefs from the windows and balconies. The city is experiencing a moment of truly great and unforgettable emotion. After crossing the Ponte di Mezzo, we have now arrived in front of the Grand Hotel on De Lungarno Reggio, where the carriages stop. We see now that Marconi and his companions get out and enter the hotel, where the crowd remains on the pavement with no intention of returning back to their homes, and is held off, not without some difficulty, by a small handful of carabinieri officers on public order duty. The clamor and cries praising the scientists show no signs of abating. But up there, we see a light turned on in one of the rooms on the first floor, which overlook the elegant balconies with balustrades. And now the door leading to the balcony opens. It's opening slowly. Yeah, we can see some people inside. Now there's a man who comes out into the balcony. A roar of jubilation rises from the crowd below. It's him. It's Marconi. He's standing in the center of the terrace. He's without his hat. A step behind him, we recognize the Lieutenant Solari, who is checking his clock. And further behind, we also glimpse Marconi's father, just for a moment, but he returned into the room almost immediately. Down here, within the crowd, handkerchiefs and hats are waved. Several Italian flags also appeared, and we heard someone shouting, "Long live Marconi! Long live the king! Long live Italy!" The great scientist is answering to this warm demonstration of affection by waving his hair, hinting at a smile and nodding his head, but without ever losing the composure and elegance that characterized him. Solari has already returned inside, and we see that now Marconi too is going inside, accompanied by the last applause of the warm people of Pisa. And the door is finally closed. So, while little by little the many people present here around us are starting to leave, to return to their homes, we would like now to give you some information on Marconi's program for tomorrow, which we were able to find out just a few minutes ago from a confidential but absolutely reliable source. First of all, a visit to the historic City University is scheduled in the morning, which will include a meeting with the faculty led by the rector, Commendatore Professor David Supino, and with the students. And then the visit will end with a demonstration of the radio telegraph station at the Institute of Physics, which we are sure will arouse the interest of the illustrious visitor. For lunch, Marconi is expected as a guest at the home of Antonio Pacinotti, a distinguished peasant scientist and professor at the local university, who was the inventor of the dynamo and the direct current electric motor. So, we can only fantasize about who knows what topics the convivial conversation between such excellent minds will focus on, the pride of Italian science in the whole world. In the afternoon, Marconi, his father, and Solari, together with the director of the Royal House, Commendatore Vittorio Boas, will go to the royal estate of Coltano, 8 kilometers south from the city center, for a survey on some places that Marconi has previously observed from the sea, on board the cruiser Carlo Alberto, and imagine it as very convenient for the installation of a modern, ultra-powerful Italian radio telegraph station to correspond with South America. As is known, in recent months, Marconi has visited numerous locations throughout Italy, most recently Rome, just before arriving here in Pisa. And now, our well-informed source always tell us, it seems that the choice has already been made. But that before announcing it to the nation, the great scientists want to clarify for some aspects regarding the concession of the land on which the station should be built. And according to our source, it will be exactly the royal estate of Coltano, near Pisa. In recent weeks, Marconi said they will reveal his resolution only once he returns to the company's headquarters in London, from where he will telegraph to the Ministers of Post and Telegraphs and of the Navy, dreaming of the location that he deems best for the ambitious, ultra-powerful station. He also said he will return to Italy at the end of August or the beginning of September to start construction work. But there are no longer any doubts about the location. And for today, the 23rd of May, 1903, that's all from Pisa. Filippo Giannetti greets you and wishes you a pleasant continuation listening to Ital Radio programs, wherever you are in space and time.
And coming back to the year 2024, let us thank you for listening to this program on shortwave celebrating the World Radio Day. Please don't forget to write to us at web2012@italradio.org. web2012@italradio.org. We will send you a confirmation. Our program continues now in Italian. Bye for now.